This is a completely random match that I have never watched before. I have no idea who these players are, and I've chosen a completely random player to spectate. Let's get right into it. Alright, so during the kickoff, he does a sideways flip. This is pretty much an absolute no-go. You want to do a diagonal flip, avoid the side flip at all costs. Straight away he gets boost after that though, which is fine. The ball bounces off the corner and he goes off the wall. So everything here seems pretty solid, except this final touch. It's very weak and almost sets up the opponent for a touch. He does well though. He actually boosts into the opponent here. That is a very smart play, considering the opponent may have been able to get a shot. If your opponent is about to get a potentially threatening touch and you're in a position where you could bump him out of the way, definitely go for that because it's a good idea and it removes that threat. You'll see when he goes up for the touch, he doesn't try and hit the ball with the corner of his car. You get the most power on your touches with the corner of your car. Here he's hitting it with the front bumper, which can also be good. If he had hit it a bit higher up, it would also be pretty solid. But try and aim to hit the ball with the corner of your car to get the most power. So he hits it over to the corner. Here he's about to go off the wall and he gets a pretty weak touch that hands over possession. The main objective you have when you're going for a touch like this, based on how he's driven up the wall and where the ball is going, is to get that mid-pass out for your teammate. Try and think ahead of time before you drive up the wall, what do I want to do with the ball? He could also use reverse camera. He would see where his teammate is. That would also be a great indicator of where he needs to hit the ball. As he's driving here, he doesn't know where his teammate is right now. You can predict where your teammate is, which you have to do often in Rocket League. But if he just used camera swivel or reverse camera for half a second, he would be 100% sure where his teammate is and could therefore get a better touch. Oof, he backflipped. It's another attempt off the wall. He's simply too slow here and misread how quickly the ball was going to bounce off the wall. It's definitely worthwhile practicing your backboard defense. I will put a training pack code on the screen now to improve your backboard defense. Spend some time in that. It is extremely important, especially moving up from Diamond to Champion. He was pretty much facing the ground. All he had to do was air roll 90 degrees. Instead, he decides to spin like really weirdly. Then he lands on the butt of his car and sort of loses control for a second or two. Make your landings and recoveries as easy and as simple as possible. You don't need to try and add an extra 1, 2, 3 spins into your landing. Just do the bare minimum to get to the ground and land with all 4 wheels as quickly as possible so that you can keep going and preserve your momentum. All these unnecessary spins just result in a couple of seconds wasted. On the touch that he gets here, there's no real need for him to smack the ball away straight away. Even though the opponent, Kangaroo, is relatively close, he doesn't look like he's going to challenge the ball, and Thunderblaze is all the way on the other side of the field. Floofy has a great opportunity here to go for a ground dribble play, or he could even smack it off the wall and then go for a follow-up shot. Instead, he decides to hit it all the way down into the opponent's corner. There is no need to hit the ball all the way into the opponent's corner if you have space. So whenever possible, try and keep possession and play to your strengths. Most people are pretty decent at ground dribbling at Diamond. If you're not, I would definitely recommend that you practice ground dribbling. There are some awesome workshop maps for that. Even if you don't have workshop, just go in free play. When I started playing, there was no workshop, right? So all I had was free play, and I would spend hours and hours taking the ball in circles and trying to keep it on the hood of my car. So there's no excuse. Practice your ground dribbling and use it whenever possible. He misses the boost, but he tries to keep himself in the play. He picks up some small pads instead. He realizes, all right, I've missed the big pad, but I'm not going back for it because it's going to take me out of the play and I have no chance of saving a shot if it gets put on net. Instead, he takes the small pad there and stays close to the ball. If you recognize when staying in the play is more important than grabbing boost, that will be very, very useful. And his teammate scores. Here, when he's rotating back, he goes right under where his teammate is. This is a little bit risky because, say, Floofy had jumped or flipped right now, or his teammate came out of that challenge a little bit lower, they probably would have run into each other and taken themselves both out of the play. I do not recommend driving underneath where your teammate or where a challenge is occurring, because quite often the two players on the same team will end up colliding with each other. Kangaroo does a strong hit from the midfield onto the back wall. If this was me, I would be up for the aerial right now. The reason for that is it's a lot harder to read the ball bouncing off your back wall than it is for the opponent to read the ball bouncing off the back wall. So to try and eliminate that, you want to get the touch on the ball before it touches the backboard. I was predicting that he was going to rotate like this. Grab 1, 2, 3 small pads and end at the back post. Instead, he actually avoids all of the small pads and goes all the way across the field from the mid boost to the corner boost to get a big pad. In this case, his teammate managed to get the save, but you don't want to trust your teammates to make those saves if you can be there to back them up. He could already be pretty much right beneath where the ball is with 30, 40 boost. Instead, he's all the way in the corner, so he will be completely out of position if his teammate misses it. Here, instead of smashing the ball away, he has tried to keep possession of it. His first touch wasn't that great though. It was still a little bit heavy, and it also doesn't allow him to get a great dribble going. He's trying to keep possession, but he hits it too far. He actually hits it with the corner of his car now and sends it too far. All you got to do to practice that is go into free play, roll the ball along the ground, and then drive around it and scoop it and try and get the touch and the power that you desire. Oof. I'm very surprised. Here, he just sat a little bit too far on the edge of the goal. You can see that he's pretty much sitting at the post. It is very unlikely with the angle that the opponent is coming in that he's going to be able to get the ball into that corner. Floofy should definitely move in a bit further to the center of the goal, because it's very likely that the ball is going to go on the left-hand side of the goal, not the right-hand side. This is something I see a lot of players do. Say they're in one corner, they've gone for a touch or a challenge, they end up needing boost, right? They drive all the way across the field to the other opponent's corner while their teammate is actively challenging the ball on the other side. If Thunder gets it past Jack right now, there is no way that Floofy is ever getting back to it. Going across the opponent's net and grabbing their corner boost is something I do not recommend doing. Instead, rotate via the midfield, grab the small pads, or stay closer to the play. Wall control, again, is something that's very difficult for a lot of people. I'll put a different training pack on the screen now that has a ton of shots that are really, really great for training your wall control. I would highly recommend spending some time in it if you think that you can improve your control for wall. And he goes for a shot. It was a very well placed shot, top corner. All right, let's pause it here for just a second. What would you do in this position? The two opponents are not going to be able to get a touch on the ball. You have space, your teammates rotating back, you have pretty much full boost. If this was me, there's probably 3 options I have. 1, I catch the ball and go for a ground dribble with a flick. 2, I go for a strong backboard hit for a double touch. Or 3, an air dribble. The first option is great no matter what rank you are. The second 2 options are also good if you are consistent at those 2 mechanics. Most diamond players are not that consistent at double touches and air dribbles. So my advice is stick to what you're good at and what you're consistent at. Let's see what he does. Okay. Out of everything he was gonna do, I was hoping it wouldn't be this. Again, he has a lot of space. He can just do a soft touch, go for a ground dribble, instead he hands over possession. There is no pressure on him right now. He has space, he has time, no need to hit it away. Look at what he does right here. He literally drives in the perfect path to pick up 3 small boost pads, except he does it right next to the boost pads. He could have another 36 boost right now. Instead, he has none. Pick up those small boost pads. This is something that I see a lot of players do. Right now, Floofy has 70 boost. Jack has 13 boost. Why does Floofy need to take the big boost pad here? Not only does he then make his teammate have to rotate further out of the play to grab boost, he also drives right in the path that his teammate is pretty obviously going to be driving because he has no boost and he's been turning for like the last 2-3 seconds. If you have a good amount of boost and you know your teammate or even can guess your teammate is low on boost because they're driving to the boost pad, let them have it. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I could see that coming. 2 things here. Number 1, I would have gone for this straight away. Blaze was quite slow to get to this ball, honestly. If he had just gone straight away as soon as the ball was going up, he could have gone, but that's okay. The main thing, though, is here. The aerials where you're facing backwards can be tricky. He flips the wrong way. I'll put another training pack code on the screen now. If you struggle with aerials just like this one, definitely take a look at that training pack. It'll help you out a ton. If you're looking for more tips, tricks and advice to rank up and improve fast in Rocket League, be sure to check out one of these videos and subscribe now for free to not miss out on any future content that may just help you get the rank you desire.